Move on. Keep it moving here. Let's move on to our investment lottery tickets section of the show. I'm going to talk basketball first, and then I know that you have a lot planned on Juan Soto. We're going to talk Kyrie, Irving, James Harden first. And so it's interesting that, the Nets have their big three. They are pretty much blowing the doors off the Celtics. It should be easy for them to move on. It seems like whenever they want to actually play, they will step up and blow people out. Irving and Harden stuff has been in free fall for the last 2 to 3 months. For the first part of the season, when the Nets all came together and super team and all that, I mean, their stuff was up 200-300%, and now we've seen a lot of that value get pulled back down. But with both Irving and Harden, you are seeing some bottoms get put in, at least in my opinion. I do think that there are opportunities now if you want a quick flip to buy and basically hope that they're going to win a title. And if they do, that should be an easy opportunity for you to make money. All three of those guys are not hurt and on the floor, so they have as good a chance as any, in my opinion, right now to win a title. Lakers may not even make it out of the first round with LeBron, so I think it's wide open, and they are the favorite. So those are two guys that I would take a look at. Durant's the interesting anomaly here. His stuff continues to go up, especially some of the refractor Topps Chrome versus Topps Paper. His Topps Chrome card has literally been a straight up arrow for the last 2 years. And, so I think that, Durant's not something that I'm looking to, I would be looking to buy right now, even if I had the 10 or 12 grand to put into a PSA 10. It's just been continuously going up, but I would definitely look at Irving and Harden, both two guys. You should be able to find some stuff you can afford in, PSA 7, 8, 9, and 10, just depending on your budget. And the other person that I want to talk about today is Klay Thompson. I thought about him, and I was just like, when we start looking at guys who are hurt and, where their values are, and I was like, Klay hasn't stepped on the court for any regular period of time in the last 2 years. And if you rewind to 2 years ago, he was a projected Hall of Famer. Golden State was coming off titles. His cards were through the roof. But in my opinion, they haven't pulled back enough that I would look at him as a buying opportunity. So if you're looking at Klay and he's been hurt and I'm going to buy and things should rebound, I don't know if they will. And, it'd be something that I want to see him step back on the court, be healthy, be old Klay, see how that's going to impact the team. If he becomes old Klay, Warriors start winning titles again, you should be able to see some value there. But in my opinion, I'm waiting on the sideline until I see what he can do and how that impacts the team, because his cards haven't fallen off anywhere near enough for how the market has cooled and the fact that he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun thing about it. You could wait till he gets back, and then it could be too late.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if you're going to try to speculate, I mean, his Prism PSA 10s, are still $700-800. And
well, to your point earlier, maybe we're at his floor. It's been built currently, and maybe it's could go up more.
It's definitely possible, and I would wait ideally until you start seeing some reports that he's fully healthy, he's back on the floor, and then gently is the best way that I would, dip a toe in before you go full-fledged on that, because I definitely think there's room, but I want to see some indication that he's going to be on the floor, because for whatever reason he just isn't going to be able to bounce back. It's an Andrew Luck type situation, a guy that was potentially a future Hall of Famer that career got cut short and is not going to go to the Hall of Fame just based on the fact that they didn't play long enough. So we'll see. But I know that you put a lot of research into Mr. Juan Soto. I am actually going to bring up our old faithful card ladder website here so that we can even look at some analysis and some charts. So why don't you fire away?
Yeah, well, for sure. So chime in to support or go against some of the data I was looking at. Things I was looking at were just past sales over the last 3 months and the corresponding population reports.
Yeah, guy, fire some cards at me here. What are we looking at for Juan Soto?
Well, his raw cards across the board, and I looked at 3 main ones. I looked at his Topps Heritage, so that's card 502 if you're looking it up. His Bowman's Best, and his Topps Update. So much like Acuna, his Update PSA 10 is upwards of $17K, and it was pushing $300 at the beginning of the season, maybe February, early March. And right now, they're pretty consistent at $150 or half that price.
So Topps Paper Update or not?
Yeah, paper
not
update,
Topps,
not the Chrome.
not
Paper
Topps
update.
Chrome. Okay, yeah.
That's card number 300.
Yep, Pop 17221, and most recent sale looks to be 152.
Yeah, and they've all been right in that range, 150, pretty steady for a couple weeks, and it was pushing 300. I mean, you probably have the peak info right in front of you there.
Yes, 380.33 is the most recent sale, and that was back before the season started.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty significant drop off for someone who's held in as high as regard as some of the other players you mentioned earlier. He's in the same class as rookie card wise as Ohtani and Acuna, whose stuff is off the charts right now, much higher than Soto's. But listen, a product of he was hurt a little bit. He hasn't jumped off the power numbers to start the season right away. The Nationals are in last place, but still a young super talent who, if you believe in, the numbers don't lie here, there's some good values on Soto's from their previous highs.
So here's what I'm looking at from just a pure chart standpoint. You have some previous resistance in the 130 to 150 range back in mid 2020. And
which one are we talking about?
We're talking about the update.
Okay.
And then we have some support at the 150 to 160 range, which is where we're seeming to fall into right now. So I would say if you can get these cards 150, 160, that should be, provided he doesn't have any sort of long-term injury or anything else, that should be a good spot for you to get in as far as like low risk, a low risk play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, some guys are just injury prone, but I think for the majority of people, when you're looking at these types of things, I tend not to let injuries take over for me a little for that much. I mean, he's given us no reason other than little nagging things to say that on, but.
Yeah, so now I brought up his Heritage card, Topps 2018 Topps Heritage.
Mm-hmm. So this one, the PSA 10, you're looking at only 5K.
Yep.
2,100 on the PSA 9. The PSA 10 is about half, almost half of what it's the previous high that I looked at.
So yeah, it looks like we have a recent high of 197.50, and this shows a similar pattern to the Topps Update card. You're starting to see some support at its current level here around $90.
That's where I have it at. When was that 190? I was gonna say that's a huge outlier if it was in the last month.
No, the 190s was back in March, so before the season started. Same as his update card, and you see some previous support. So this is the only thing that makes me a little nervous. Is his previous support was in the like $60 to $70 range, $55 to $70 range. So even if you can get in at 90, that's not a huge it's not a huge risk. You're talking maybe $20-$30, and then hopefully you have some upward potential if he can start hitting. And what was the last Bowman's Best?
So this one's the interesting one. It's his 2018 Bowman's Best. So he's got a couple cards in that set, including inserts that have the rookie card logo on it. But the base card is card number 29.
Okay, 2018 Bowman's Best.
Yeah, so you're seeing raws about half what they were preseason. So PSA 9s have significantly fallen off significantly. This is one of the, now there's not a lot of PSA 9, so this doesn't support what I was mentioning earlier. But the PSA 9 is just above the raw at this point.
Yeah,
it looks
the
like PSA 10s are also about half price.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot less of these being, hitting
only 800. Only 800 the PSA 10. That's why this is the card I'm looking at.
Yeah, 803 on that pop. Current value 94. I mean, but it looks like there's some massive swings here. I mean, we literally have on the 10th it sold for $85.
There's some in the 50s right now.
15th it sold for $160. I mean, these things are literally $30-$40 jumps between sales. So,
well, so I think what you're seeing here is, I think you're seeing the people who know the population reports of these cards and the people who don't. So if you're following the trends of other Soto cards, you're not bidding, you're not buying. But if you know the population reports here, for example, if you look deeper into the 3 inserts in this set, now they're all rookie cards. They have the rookie card logo. They look pretty darn cool. The PSA 10s are in the hundreds. It's like 120, 140, 135, and they're selling for about the same as the base. So out of everything we just discussed, if I'm looking to get in on a PSA 10 Soto, I'm looking at one of the insert sets, which would be the best performers, the neophyte sensation, or the power producer insert, because the population report is literally in the hundreds.
Yeah, so I just brought up the 2018 Bowman's Best Juan Soto refractor, and we had one that went for $150 on the 11th, and
I've seen that thing well over 3.
160. Well, let me get there. 168 yesterday, and the peak for this over the last few years was 415.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay away from paper base and you're looking for something affordable, $150, you can find this card. And this also helps illustrate what we were just talking about. If you look at the atomic refractor up until the last sale, the last 2 sales, it has basically been trending up. So I mean, there's opportunities here, and if you're looking at Soto could potentially be in the conversation with Tatis and Acuna for future star, if you can get his a Bowman's Best refractor for $150 PSA 10 and put it in the drawer for a few years, it's not a bad deal.
And that's just it. And that's to your long or short here. I think once a player, and especially these budding superstars, get 3 to 4 years off their rookie card, I think that's when their biggest floor gets established, unless they're just going berserk. So I actually think some of these guys, I think there'll still be room to improve based on like awesome performances, but these guys like Acuna and Soto, and you're looking like 3 to 4 years off the rookie card. I think they're going into a little bit of a holding pattern for a while until they really establish and start laying down some career numbers, and then they start taking off again.
Yeah. So basically, this is definitely a longer term opportunity. We're not saying that this is quick flip territory. So if you're looking for stuff that you can hold for the next few years, that you may be able to 3x your money. I mean, I know that sounds crazy these days that 3x isn't enough for people, but it's
20 for me.
Yeah, exactly. But that is these are definitely some opportunities, especially with Soto, and hopefully the Nationals being a somewhat bigger market team in DC figure out a way to turn it around and start winning some games too. That always helps.
And a nice example, why Soto's a nice example right now, where it may not be a long play, is he's literally hitting 270 with 4 home runs, which is not what we're used to.
Yeah.
He has a hot month heading into the summer, hits 10 bombs in a month, and all the news is on Juan Soto. Those things are going to jump again for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you're looking for smaller plays or smaller flip opportunities with 20, 30, 40%,